evening, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. And, again, just squeaking an extra one in before I go, even though it's 5:30 and I should be at home by now. I'm going to review Mother of Madness, or Mom, from Amelia Clark and Margaret Bennett, with art by Layla Lace. Now, there is absolutely no way on God's green earth that I'm going to review this one without getting political. It's just an impossible task, so I'm just warning everyone up front, as I just adjust this ever so slightly, that there's simply no other way this is going to get reviewed. Now, for people who don't want to hear about capitalism and feminism and a whole bunch of stuff that ties in with that and intersectionality and all that, we're just going to get to some the beats fairly early on. First of all, it is excellently written. It is absolutely chock full of humor, really nice, natural-sounding dialogue. There's just a wittiness to it, which is impossible to deny. It's also really good-looking. There's great periods where they use interesting page structures. They draw your eye around a story without bogging you down with it. And my personal favorite example of how good the art is a little two-panel thing on the bottom here. Because somebody just, after a fight, realizing what's going on and then looking into a camera. And it really exemplifies how well you can just do minor little changes to show a complete difference. You've got the puzzle face, the movement in the back after the dust is settling from the fight, then a bit more of a static image, but completely differently lit, and even the colouring style is done differently. Genuinely shows what an exceptionally talented artist is involved in this. And don't get me wrong, that's one example out of 20 or 30 I could pick, which had me going back to them and trying to figure out how they've done what they've done and make it look so good. Incredibly talented artist. Now, Amelia Clark, we had this discussion earlier on today when I was reading something else, is not a comic book writer, but she's a comic book fan, and so she's got Margaret Bennett in to help her write it. Again, excellent choice. I think you can see a certain a stylistic choice in how the page is laid out, which I totally associate with a professional comic book writer. But the core concept is all Amelia Clark, and you can't really criticize her gusto for what she's doing. There's some back matter in there, which is a letter from her to the reader, just laying everything out on Front Street, even though it's back matter, that this is a feminist story. And as I say, we're now at the point where you simply cannot avoid the politics anymore. It is set in the near future, 30 years or so, or just shy of 30 years. There has been a continuation of global financial collapse, environmental collapse, and so many other things, which is going wrong right now, and it looks like in her world nobody's fixed it. And these basically accentuate problems that already exist. Ableism, sexism, misogyny, transphobia, homophobia, and all that kind of thing. The general racism on top of it as well, just the sheer hell of it. And all of it comes across in the fact that in a situation where power struggles are I will say hello when I see somebody comment on it, and I have no idea if people watching this know that that's what I'm doing, so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, all of these power structure changes, basically what they do is actually reinforce the structure that's already existing, which is top-down patriarchy. And there's a certain part of me, which about a third of the way through, was thinking, good Lord, this is quite heavy on the whole men being absolute monsters. And it's no, it's not the point of it. It's an everyday thing for everyone who has to encounter this kind of thing. My privilege is I don't really have to put up with this kind of stuff. I have been in shops before when I've been working, and women next to me have been told to smile, and I never have. I've been in shops where I've seen men do that to women behind the counter and had to really bite my tongue because it's a terrible, terrible thing to see happen. So it is laden throughout it, but it's done with humor and heart. Honestly, there's just some exceptional characters, and even some of the worst ones are kind of given an out in the fact that they are seen as a product of the time and a product of the environment rather than just nasty for the sake of being nasty. There's only really one major man villain, but it looks like he's hired by a woman, so they're gonna mess around with their expectations there, which is great. Subvert expectations, or you I am down on that one. Okay, is this a Brazilian person watching my review? Excellent. Apologies, I speak not only English but very quickly, so I've had some Americans tell me they couldn't keep up with me. Let's have fun with this. What was I talking about? Yes, so subverting expectations is brilliant. But there's times when Amelia Clark doesn't do that, or Margaret Bennett doesn't do it. There's times when they really heavily lean into it, and they make excellent jokes about the fact that the hole in the ozone layer looks like, I can't remember, it looks like a famous person. So the aim is to sell it on eBay to make money. But it turns out Jeff Bezos, whoever claimed the rights to the ozone layer in the 2030s, and it's just the response to the press was no. Brilliant, absolutely on the nose. And there's so much of that. There's so many little things that happen which are played out every day, every life, but accentuated because of the fact that this is a future where the world has changed slightly differently. On top of that, we also have superpowers, which tie into a whole feminist angle, which I've just realized I'm not going to have time to get into, but suffice to say, it works brilliantly, does the kind of stuff which I think Manita's tried to do for me, and I'm not criticizing Manita's for not doing it well enough, but this is better. It is excellent. I have just gone onto my Damned UK website and ordered a bunch more of this comic book because I have the impression it's going to sell out quickly. Yes, it is very heavily on the politics, but I am myself and I talk about this kind of stuff a lot in my store, so I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of people out there who will watch this review and go, yes, that sounds like something I want to be part of. It's something I want to tell people about. It's something I want to share. It's something I want to get out into the world, because you will do. It's eminently shareable. You can put it into anyone's hand, they'll enjoy it. I've gone up my orders of the hardback collection that's not even out for months yet, because I'm going to get the hardback collection so I can give it to people. It's genuinely heartwarmingly wonderful to have read it. I just wish I had more of them. And I've gone well over my time, so I'm going to call it here. I will be back tomorrow with at least one, if not two more reviews. Until then, look after each other, everyone, and stay safe. Bye.